Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy you're here with us today. We have an exciting topic to share that will really help you become more fluent in English.
That's right, Julia. Today, we're going to talk about 7 habits for English fluency. These are simple, daily habits that can make a huge difference in how confidently and naturally you speak English.
And the best part is you don't need to move to an English-speaking country or take expensive classes to build these habits. Anyone can do them, anywhere.
Exactly. You know, Julia, when I was learning a new language, I used to think fluency was something magical that just happens one day. But later, I realized it's actually built step by step through small habits.
Same here, Jason. It's like learning to play an instrument. You don't become a master overnight. It's the small daily practices that build your fluency muscle.
So, in today's episode, we're going to share 7 powerful habits that you can start using today to get closer to fluency. And don't worry, we'll give you practical examples and tips for each one.
All right, let's dive in. First, let's talk about why habits are so important when it comes to learning English fluently.
All right, Julia. Before we jump into the 7 habits, let's talk about something very important. Why are habits so crucial for becoming fluent in English?
Great question, Jason. You see, learning a language isn't about studying for a few hours once a week and expecting to be fluent. It's about creating small, daily routines that help you use English naturally. Fluency is built through consistent practice over time.
Absolutely. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth for 3 hours on Sunday and then skip the rest of the week, right? It's those few minutes every day that keep your teeth healthy. The same goes for your English skills.
Exactly. And the best thing is, these habits don't have to take a lot of time. Even 10 to 15 minutes of daily practice can create a big change if you stick with it.
Another thing to remember is that fluency isn't just about memorizing grammar rules or vocabulary lists. It's about making English a part of your daily life. The more you live with the language, the more natural it becomes.
Yes, and habits help you avoid feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes people feel like they have to learn everything at once, but if you build small, daily habits, you'll improve without even realizing it.
That's so true. I remember one of my students who started by just listening to English podcasts while walking to work. It became her daily habit. And after a few months, her listening and speaking improved so much.
That's a great example. Habits make learning automatic. You don't have to think, oh, I need to study English today. It just becomes part of your routine, like having your morning coffee.
Exactly. And the more you repeat these small actions, the more confident you become. Fluency is really the result of small habits done consistently over time.
So, if you want to speak English fluently, focus on building simple habits into your daily life. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent.
Well said, Julia. Now, let's dive into the first habit that every English learner should build, and that is practice speaking every day. All right, Julia, let's start with the very first habit. Practice speaking every day. I think this is the most important habit of all.
Absolutely, Jason. If you want to be fluent, you need to use your mouth, not just your eyes and ears. Reading and listening are important, but speaking is what really builds fluency.
That's right. But many learners tell me, Jason, I don't have anyone to practice speaking with. How can I practice every day? And you know what I tell them? You can practice speaking by yourself.
Exactly. You don't need a partner to practice. You can do something as simple as talking to yourself in English. For example, describe what you're doing. I am making breakfast. Now I'm going to work. Simple sentences, but it keeps you speaking.
Yes. And a really fun method is mirror talk. You stand in front of a mirror, look at yourself, and speak in English. It might feel silly at first, but it helps with confidence and body language too.
I love that exercise. Another idea is to pick a topic each day and talk about it out loud. Maybe talk about your favorite movie, what you did yesterday, or your plans for the weekend. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be daily.
Right. And even if you make mistakes, that's okay. The goal here is to train your brain and mouth to work together in English. Fluency is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Also, I always tell shy learners to record themselves speaking. It's a private way to practice. You can listen back and notice things like pronunciation, pauses, and filler words like or ah.
That's a great point. And for those who do want a speaking partner, there are apps where you can find language exchange partners. But honestly, even 5 to 10 minutes of self-speaking practice daily can make a huge difference.
It really can. The key is to be consistent. Make it a habit, like brushing your teeth. You don't need to speak for an hour every day. Just a few minutes, but every single day.
Exactly. So to everyone listening, start today. After this podcast, find a quiet place and talk to yourself in English about your day. It might feel strange at first, but trust me, this habit will transform your fluency over time.
Perfect advice, Jason. Now let's move on to habit 2, which is all about improving your listening skills. Listen to English daily.
All right, moving on to habit 2. Listen to English daily. Julia, I think listening is one of the easiest habits to build because you can do it anytime, anywhere.
Absolutely, Jason. You can listen while you're commuting, cooking, exercising, or even relaxing. The key is to surround yourself with English sounds every day. Your brain needs to hear English regularly to get used to the rhythm and pronunciation.
That's so true. And it doesn't have to be boring. You can listen to English podcasts, songs, audiobooks, YouTube videos, whatever you enjoy. The more interesting the content, the more likely you are to stick with it.
Yes, for beginners, I recommend starting with slow English podcasts. There are so many podcasts made for English learners where the hosts speak slowly and clearly. It's a great way to train your ears.
I also love recommending English songs with lyrics. You can listen to the song, read the lyrics, and even sing along. It's a fun way to practice pronunciation and pick up new vocabulary.
That's a great tip. And for people who enjoy watching, YouTube videos or movies with subtitles can be very helpful. First, watch with English subtitles, then try watching without them as you improve.
Exactly. And you don't always need to understand 100% of what you hear. Just by listening, your brain is learning the natural flow of the language. Over time, you'll notice that words and phrases start to sound familiar.
One more thing, Jason. I always tell learners to repeat what they hear. For example, after listening to a sentence, pause and repeat it out loud. This not only improves listening but also helps with speaking and pronunciation.
Yes, that's called shadowing, and it's a powerful technique. You listen to a native speaker and try to copy their tone, speed, and pronunciation as closely as possible. It's like having a private speaking coach.
Exactly. And remember, the goal is not to be perfect, but to be consistent. Even 10 minutes of listening every day will make a big difference over time.
So listeners, after this podcast, pick something you enjoy. Maybe a short podcast episode or a favorite English song, and make it part of your daily routine. You'll be surprised how much your listening and speaking will improve.
That's right. Now let's move on to habit 3, which is a fun one, think in English.
Okay, Julia. Now we're on to habit 3. And this one is really interesting. Think in English. I think many learners don't realize how powerful this habit can be.
You're right, Jason. Most people learn English by translating from their native language, but that process is slow and makes speaking feel difficult. When you start thinking directly in English, your fluency becomes much faster and smoother.
Exactly. Translation is like having a middleman in your brain. You think in your language, translate it to English, and then speak. But if you think directly in English, you can skip that step and speak more naturally.
So the question is, how do you train yourself to think in English? It sounds difficult, but it's actually simple if you start small.
Yes! One easy way is to begin with simple words and sentences. For example, when you see a chair, just think, chair. If you're walking, think, I am walking to the store. Narrate your actions in English in your mind.
I love that exercise, and as you get more comfortable, you can start asking yourself questions in English like, what should I eat for lunch? Or what will I do this weekend? Then, answer yourself in English too.
That's a great tip. Another method is to describe things around you silently in your mind. For example, the sky is blue today, or that car is very fast. This builds your vocabulary and makes English a part of your thinking process.
Also, when you're feeling more confident, try to daydream in English. Imagine a conversation with a friend or think about a situation, all in English. It might feel funny at first, but it's very effective for fluency.
Yes, and the best part is, you can practice this anywhere, while you're walking, waiting for a bus, or even lying in bed. It's a habit that doesn't take extra time.
Exactly. And for beginners who find it hard, don't worry about making mistakes in your head. No one is listening. The goal is to get your brain used to forming sentences in English without translating.
I always tell my students, if you can think it, you can say it. So by training your brain to think in English, speaking becomes much easier.
So, listeners, challenge yourself today. Pick one small task, like making tea or going for a walk, and describe everything you're doing in English in your mind. You'll see how quickly this habit becomes natural.
Perfect. Now that we're thinking in English, it's time to strengthen our speaking skills even more with Habit 4. Read out loud for pronunciation and confidence. All right, Julia. Let's move on to Habit 4, which is a simple but very powerful habit. Read out loud for pronunciation and confidence.
Yes, Jason. Many learners don't realize how helpful reading aloud is. It's like a workout for your mouth, your brain, and even your ears. It helps you practice pronunciation, rhythm, and also boosts your speaking confidence.
Absolutely. When you read silently, your brain understands the words, but your mouth doesn't get any practice. But when you read out loud, you're training your mouth to pronounce words correctly and smoothly.
And the best part is, you can choose materials that you enjoy. It could be a short story, an article, a poem, or even your favorite English song lyrics. The important thing is to read slowly and clearly, not too fast.
That's right. And Julia, I often recommend that learners record themselves while reading out loud. Then, listen back and notice where they can improve. It's a great way to become aware of pronunciation mistakes.
Yes, and another fun exercise is to mimic native speakers. For example, find a short YouTube video or podcast clip, play a sentence, pause, and then try to copy it exactly, matching the tone, speed, and pronunciation. It's like doing karaoke with English.
I love that. It's a fun way to improve your speaking flow. Also, reading aloud builds your confidence, because the more you speak out loud, even when you're alone, the less nervous you'll feel when speaking to other people.
Exactly. I always tell my students, your voice is your instrument. You need to practice playing it, and reading aloud is a simple daily habit that will make your speaking voice stronger and clearer.
And here's a quick tip for our listeners. Start with short paragraphs, maybe just 5 or 6 sentences a day. Focus on pronouncing each word clearly, and don't rush. Over time, you can increase the length as your confidence grows.
Great advice, Jason. And remember, it's okay to make mistakes. The goal is to get comfortable hearing yourself speak English and improving a little every day.
So, after today's episode, grab a short English article or a page from a book and read it out loud for 5 minutes. You'll be surprised how much this small habit helps your fluency.
All right, now let's move on to Habit 5, which is about learning English in a smarter way. Learn phrases, not just words.
All right, Julia. Now it's time for Habit 5, and this is a game changer. Learn phrases, not just words.
Oh yes, Jason, this is so important. Many English learners focus on memorizing individual words, but the real key to speaking fluently is learning chunks or phrases that native speakers use all the time.
Exactly. When you learn a phrase, you're not just learning a word, you're learning how words work together naturally. For example, instead of memorizing thanks and help separately, it's better to learn the full phrase, "Thanks for your help."
Yes. And the great thing is, phrases help you speak faster and more naturally because you don't have to think about grammar in the moment. You already have a ready-to-use sentence in your brain.
Right? It's like having pre-made blocks of language that you can use in conversations. Let's give our listeners a few useful phrases they can start with.
Sure. Here are some simple, everyday phrases. How's it going? Instead of how are you? I'm not sure. That sounds great. Could you please repeat that?
Perfect examples, Julia. And here are a few more. What do you mean? Let me think about it. I'm just looking. Thanks. For shopping. It depends.
These kinds of phrases are very common in daily conversations. If learners practice them, they'll sound much more natural and fluent.
Yes, and a fun way to practice phrases is to do mini role plays. For example, pretend you're ordering food at a restaurant and say, "I'd like a chicken sandwich, please." Or pretend you're on a phone call and say, "Can I call you back in 5 minutes?"
I love that. Role-playing makes learning phrases fun and practical. And here's a tip for our listeners. Keep a phrase notebook. Every time you hear a useful phrase in a podcast, movie, or conversation, write it down and practice it.
That's an excellent tip. The more phrases you know, the easier it becomes to express yourself quickly without overthinking grammar.
So, remember, don't just collect words, collect phrases. It will take your speaking skills to the next level.
Exactly. All right, next up is Habit 6, and this one will really help you improve by yourself. Record yourself and listen back. All right, Julia, now we're on to Habit 6. Record yourself and listen back. This is one of the most powerful self-practice habits, but many learners feel shy about it.
Yes, Jason, I totally understand that feeling. Hearing your own voice can be a little strange at first, but trust me, this habit can really help you spot your mistakes and improve your pronunciation and speaking fluency.
Exactly. When you're speaking, you don't always notice small mistakes in grammar, pronunciation, or your pacing. But when you listen to a recording of yourself, you become more aware of these details.
Right. It's like watching a video of yourself playing a sport. You can see what's working and what needs improvement. Plus, recording yourself builds confidence. The more you hear yourself speaking English, the more comfortable you become.
And here's a simple way to start. Pick a short topic. Maybe talk about your day, describe a picture, or read a short article out loud. Record yourself for just 1 to 2 minutes.
Then, listen back and ask yourself, did I pronounce the words clearly? Did I pause too much? Did I use correct grammar? It's not about being perfect. It's about becoming aware and improving little by little.
Absolutely. And you can also compare your recording with a native speaker clip. For example, record yourself reading a paragraph. Then listen to a native speaker reading the same paragraph and notice the differences.
That's a fantastic exercise. And for those who are shy, remember, no one else needs to hear your recordings. It's just for you. It's like having a personal English mirror.
Yes. And here's the best part. When you listen to your recordings after a few weeks or months, you'll be amazed at how much progress you've made. It's a great way to track your fluency journey.
So listeners, grab your phone, record yourself speaking for a few minutes today, and start making this a weekly habit. It's a small effort with huge rewards.
Great. Now, let's move to the final habit, which ties everything together. Habit 7. Be consistent and patient. All right, Julia, we've reached habit 7, and it might be the most important habit of all. Be consistent and patient.
Yes, Jason. This is where many learners struggle. People often want quick results, but language learning is a journey. It takes time, and the only way to reach fluency is through consistent daily practice.
Exactly. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. It's like going to the gym. You don't get fit by exercising once a week. You get results by doing small exercises regularly, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes a day.
And patience is key. You might not notice your progress immediately, but trust me, if you stay consistent, you'll wake up one day and realize, wow, I'm speaking so much better now.
That's so true. I always tell my students, don't aim for perfection, aim for progress. Some days will feel easy, and some days will be tough. But the important thing is to keep showing up.
And it's okay to take small steps. You don't need to do all 7 habits at once. Start with 1 or 2, make them part of your daily routine, and then add more as you feel comfortable.
Exactly. And don't get discouraged by mistakes. Mistakes are proof that you're learning and improving. Every fluent speaker has made thousands of mistakes along the way.
That's right. The goal is to build a positive habit loop, small actions that you do every day, which slowly build your confidence and fluency. And remember, it's better to practice a little every day than to practice a lot once in a while.
So, listeners, be kind to yourself, stay patient, and keep going. Fluency is not a race. It's a daily habit. You've got this.
Yes, stay consistent, enjoy the process, and celebrate your small wins. Now, Jason, shall we wrap up with some final thoughts?
Before we finish, Julia, I want to share some motivational advice with our listeners. One of the biggest fears learners have is making mistakes when speaking English.
Yes, Jason, but the truth is mistakes are actually a good thing. They show you're trying, learning, and growing. Every fluent speaker has made countless mistakes before getting better.
Exactly. When you make a mistake, don't be embarrassed or discouraged. Instead, see it as an opportunity to learn something new.
And the more you practice speaking, the more mistakes you will make. And that's okay. The important thing is to keep going and not let the fear stop you.
Remember, fluency is about communicating, not about being perfect. Native speakers also make mistakes sometimes, but they keep the conversation going.
So, to all our listeners, embrace your mistakes. They are stepping stones on your path to English fluency.
Absolutely. Keep practicing, stay positive, and enjoy the journey. You're doing great.
All right, Jason, time to wrap up.
Well, Julia, that was a great discussion. We've covered the 7 habits for English fluency that anyone can start building today.
Yes, Jason. Remember, it's not about doing everything perfectly or all at once. It's about starting small, being consistent, and enjoying the process.
Exactly. Pick one habit from today's episode, try it out, and make it part of your daily routine. Over time, you'll see amazing progress.
And don't forget, learning English is a journey, so be patient with yourself and celebrate every step forward no matter how small.
Thank you so much for listening to English Learning Podcast. We hope you found today's episode helpful and motivating.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave us a comment or question. We love hearing from you.
And stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll share more tips to help you become a confident English speaker.
Until then, keep practicing those habits and keep speaking English every day.
See you next time, everyone!